Hello, welcome back. This is Human Resource Planning. I am Assistant Professor Rosy Barik from HR Department. I am going to teach you about Human Resource Analytics for Human Resource Decisions. Your code is MMPS 003, Block 3, Unit 8. So today we will be discussing about the analytics part of HR. So here the introductions, the contents of these topics are introduction, stages of HR talent management life cycle, evolutionary processes of human capital matrices, HRIS, talent resourcing, talent acquisition, or HR analytics summary. So in this topic, the organizations are compelled to modify their businesses practices due to evolving micro and macroeconomic conditions. So globalization has intensified competitions, pushing the organizations to align their HR strategy with business goals. Within these constraints of current scenario, we can find out the different analytics process has been used in the various companies. This shift has led to the focus on diversification, offering a wide array of product lines and services to meet customers' demands. So, in order to meet the demand of the customer, the organization is following different strategies, different matrices. So, despite similar level of quality, pricing, and serviceability among the competitors, the defining questions remains: what makes the particular organization a market leader? Why this competition is occurring in the labor market, and why the one company is leading company and another companies are not? So, let's have a discussion on it. So, stages of HR talent management life cycles. Though HR talent management has different stages of their cycle. So, through this cycle, if the company is able to fulfill this cycle, then they can be the leader of the market, labor market. With the constraint changes organizations face, one of the most important aspects of running a successful business is attracting, recruiting, onboarding, developing, and retaining the top talent. The HR expertise management life cycle ensures that both the employees and employer benefit from their collaboration. As we have discussed in the previous unit that the what is HR life cycle, HR management life cycle. So what are here we will be discussing about what are the different stages of HR life cycles of the employee's life. These are attraction, recruitment, onboarding, development, and retention of career, and final one is the separation. Attraction, the different stages of lives. First one is attraction. A great employer brand can be built by passing through the employee attraction. It arises the brand awareness of the organization, providing lucrative compensation and benefits is found to be beneficial at this stage. So before this, I want to clear that whenever any vacancy is there in a company, first of all, what they are doing, they are just giving the advertisement. From this advertisement, the people or the talented employees are getting attracted. The different employees are different person, the person who is employed in other organization or the person who are unemployed, they are getting attracted. They are applying the form. From this application, they are getting recruited through various processes. After that, they are joining, that is onboarding. Then, if any problem occurs, training is required, then they are getting training from the organization, they are getting developed day by day. So, they retain their career in that organization finally at the age of superannuation they are getting retired or they are separated, or if they want to change the organization after their development they want to change also. So these are the different stages. Now we'll be on recruitment stage. So the stage says identifying great talent quickly and hiring them before competitors is recruitment crush. That means if the organization is finding the people who are suitable for the organization. They want to hire them. Then first they have to recruit recruit that people. Then maintaining several deep pockets of the prospective candidates, assessing the candidates through interview, performance during the group discussion, psychometric test, personal background. These are the stages of recruitment process. So next one is onboarding. In this period, which begins after recruiting and assessing the employees' capabilities, is the vital for help new hires to adapt the organizational environment. It ensures they feel confident in their decisions to join their team. When resources are allocated to work directly with the clients on a project under the staff augmentations model, it is essential to ensure that clients have well structured onboarding process. Now, we'll be discussing on development and retention career, the next step. Each employee needs a personalized career development plan that includes regular training. So, we can say that training is not a continuous process, but development is the continuous process. So, managers and supervisors must work with the employees to define and adjust such plan regularly. Engineers typically want to work in a setting where they can learn, so having online training platform to help them to improve their technical and soft skills. It's a important details. So what happened in retention's career, they have to improve their technical as well as soft skill performance so that they can be able to retain in the particular organization. Then employee separation. It is the last stage of the employee life cycle. So employee's life cycle ends at some point, whether for recruitment, new employment and personal regions. Strategically, the separation process must be treated just as seriously as the onboarding process. From day one, they communicate to your new employee that leaving the company is a natural process that can benefit everyone involved. While the departure of a valuable resource inevitably impacts the organization, managing it effectively ensures a smoother transition. This approach also leaves the door open for the employees to explore future opportunities with the organization. So, through this employee separation, the employees are able to get new perspective to join in the different organization. They can start their new career with certain experience from the previous one. And also, if the employee wants to sustain in the particular organization, they may follow the employee, they may wait for the superannuation period so that they can leave from the organization after retirement. Now we will be discussing on evolutionary process of human capital matrices. So how this process has been developed, evolved. So, first of all, to become the integral to the business success, HR practitioners can leverage matrices, especially predictive analysis, as they serve the language for the organizational management. Research from 2007 and 2008 workforce intelligence reports highlighted the need for the management model that enhances communication between line manager as well as the HR professional. Here, evolutionary journey of the predictive analysis like transactional monitoring, it is the first one, or you can say is a first traditional process. After that, human resources management, then business matrices, then predictive analysis. In transactional monitoring, what happens? Human resources activity reports was collecting. Then in human resource management, that performance was monitoring. In business matrices is tying the HR matrix to the business, and in predictive analysis what nowadays foretelling the effects. So In this process, the manager can identify what are the issues and what will happen if the new method will be implemented in the organization, what will be the effect of the implementation of the new things in the organization. That's why we are saying that it is predictive analysis. So, determine the future workforce need. The transactional monitoring evolves to predictive analytics, increasing the organizational potential to cater to future requirements. It visits the evolutionary journey of human capital so we may understand the importance of each phase of evolution. The 5 ways of measurement was there. Before we get into find different ways of measuring anything in the business, we must knowledge about two facts. Measurement is an activity targeted to find out something, or every activity incurs an expense. Now, so what we'll see here, the foundation of analytics questions about involvement of expense in it. Now, let us discuss about the 5 different stages followed in analytics. Recording one's work can significantly benefit the organization by saving time and money. It enables input output comparisons, ensures records are accessible and credible. When HR decisions align closely with the real time value of the organization, it becomes easier to enhance employee satisfaction. It helps in improving recording the efforts and board decision can lead to enhancement in hiring, compensation, training, development, retaining, and employee support. And then linking to the organization's goals of quality, innovation, productivity, and services. Overall, it is known as QUIPS: quality, innovation, productivity, and services. Periodic employees target reviewed by senior management ensure the long-term organizational value. And next one is comparison of result. In this process, the benchmarking process is being used. The process of comparing business practices with industry based helps the organizations develop plans to improve and or adapt specific practices for enhance the performance. While it may be one time event, or the benchmarking is often seen as an ongoing process aimed at increasing the efficiency, effectiveness of the organizational practices. So, next is recognizing past behaviors and output, that is descriptive analysis. It represents the first two analysis level. It searches for and explains data relationship with providing negligible significance to the different trends. It is more exploratory and deductive than predictive. It allows us to visualize past trends. However, extrapolating from the past into the future is risky due to volatile nature, quickly shifting of markets currently and likely future. Next one is forecasting future possibilities or predictive analytics. Predictive analysis or predictive analytics bridges the gap between what we know and what we don't know. Constructing past events with future possibilities and giving meaning to patterns observed in descriptive analysis. It is used by financial institutions to assess creditworthiness, by insurers to forecast health patterns, and by HR to evaluate the return on investment in hiring, training, and human capital plan. So now the influence of analysis. Why the analytics are used in the organization. It is a risky decisions often need to be made in unavoidable situation, though the reasoning behind them is rarely entirely clear. For example, how should we retain mission critical talent under changing the market conditions? Should the compensation be offered through incentive, challenging assignment, work life balance, or rapid advancement? What data do we have to support such crucial future decisions? Predicting the most successful course of action, it becomes even more challenging than dealing with a large, demographically diverse, and strategically important workforce, especially when technological advancements or customer expectations are in flux. Relying solely the past data to forecast the future can lead to poor decision making. Obvious thing, because the past data may have changed, or the employees are doing the work may have efficient enough to overcome with their faults, so that the data can be changed, the productivity can be improved. So relying solely on past data of forecast the future can lead to poor decision making. Now comes to the new part of HR analytics. This is HRIS, Human Resource Information System. So, though it is a new terminology in the market, but it is very useful for the HR department. Here, what happened? It helps in streamlining the HR resources, payrolls, compensation, accounting, data management processes, and also helps in business developments. So, HR, the Human Resource Information System, is a software based solution designed to streamline the human resources, payroll, accounting, and data management process, while and it enables the organizations to collect and track valuable information. With a variety of sophisticated HRIS options are available, choosing the right system are required careful consideration, as the complexity of this system can overwhelm the HR departments. Though it is a new terms, so careful observation is required. Hundreds of companies offer HRIS solution, each with unique capabilities, making it essential to choose one that align with the organization's specific needs. And if the modern HRIS system provides actionable insights and matrices that enhance employee engagement, boost productivity, optimize hiring processes while reducing the overall cost. So, it is also one wonderful tool which is used to reduce the cost. So, it is the pictorial representation of HRIS. It shows that the middle one is the employee portal. Through this HRIS process, the benefit of the management occurs, demographic and compensation change, time and attendance can be developed, applicant tracking can be occurred, performance can be managed, workflows and communications can be done, and so that we can easily give the report in time to the department or to the head of the department. Now we have to discuss about descriptive analysis, as we have discussed about the predictive analysis. So descriptive analysis, as its name suggests, it is quite descriptive in nature. So it involves analyzing historical data to understand the business evolutions, identifying strength and weakness. It provides performance trends through past data and benchmarking in helping decision makers answer the questions what happened. So, descriptive analytics collects data through primary methods that are data aggregations and data mining. While data aggregation compiles information from various sources into summarized forms, data mining identifies trends and patterns in large datasets to generate business insights, predict the future outcomes, and develop actionable strategy. So, in this analysis, what happened? The analysis can be done through historical data to understand the business evaluation by identifying its strength and weakness. And through this process what is happening and what will happen and what have already happened, that can be identified. So descriptive analysis in for this method, two methods are following, that are data aggregation and so here data aggregation compiles the information from the various sources to summarized forms, but data mining identifies the trends and patterns in the large data sets to generate the business insights. So now we'll discuss about the predictive analysis. Predictive analysis basically analytics is basically in terms of predictions, like it is a kind of data analytics that seeks to answer the questions what should we do to achieve this. Previously, what happened? Now, predictive analytics, what should we do to achieve this? It entails using technology to assist businesses in making better decisions by analyzing raw data. The data which is already being available, the decision can be done. So predictive analytics considers informations about potential situations or scenarios, current resources, past performance, and current performance before recommending a course of action or strategy. It can be used to make decisions on any time horizons, from the short to the long term. So it can be used in any time horizon or it can be done through short and long term. It is the inverse of the descriptive analytics. It looks at decisions and the outcomes after they have occurred. So what are its uses? It helps in reducing the employees and customer churn. It helps in finding the customers who are most likely to difficult on payment. It helps in supporting data-based forecasting of sales. It helps in setting optimal or minimal pricing. It helps in tracking the timelines the machines will need maintenance and replacement. So its advantages in predictive analytics, it helps organizations to navigate the uncertainty and changing conditions effectively. It aids in fraud prevention, risk reduction, improved efficiency, achieving business objectives, and forecasting the customer's loyalty. By relying on thoroughly analyzed data, it enables decision making based on the facts rather than instinct. This approach can stimulate the present, the possibilities or the probabilities of various outcomes, giving organizations a clearer understanding of the risks and uncertainties that the organization is facing. Additionally, it helps in preparing the worst case scenarios, ensuring better strategic planning. Now we'll be discussing on disadvantages of predictive analysis. In predictive analysis, organization can only be effective if they know what questions to ask, and how to respond to the answer. As a result, it is only effective if its inputs are correct. If the input assumptions are correct, the output results will be correct. In the measurement of human resource planning decision, this type of data analytics is only appropriate for short-term problems. This means businesses should avoid using prescriptive analytics or predictive analysis to make the long-term decision. Obviously, it is a kind of predictions that employees are giving. This is because it becomes less reliable as more time is required. Now, diagnostic analysis. We have left with diagnostic analysis, hypothesis testing, correlation, diagnostic regression analysis, talent sourcing, importance of workplace, then Markov chain, job analysis, job descriptions, then job redesign, job evaluations, talent acquisition, performance predictor, effectiveness of acquisition, analytics of employee training and development, then application of HR analytics. So these are the things we are going to discuss now. We'll be discussing on diagnostic analytics. This is the method of assessing the data to uncover the causes of trends and relationship between the variables. It can be viewed as logical next step after identifying trends with descriptive analytics. So, manual diagnostic analysis like algorithm and statistical softwares can be used, such as Microsoft Excel. Before dividing into diagnostic analytics, these are several concepts to grasp, like hypothesis testing, the distinctions between the correlation and causation, the diagnostic regression analysis. Now we'll be discussing on what is hypothesis testing. It is the statistical process of determining whether or not an assumption is known as hypothesis testing. A hypothesis to test that can help to guide and focus your diagnostic analytics. Now, what is correlation? Understanding the difference between correlation and causation is crucial when examining the relationship between the variables. Correlation indicates that the movement of two or more variables are related. That's why it is known as correlation. The positive correlation means both the variables moves in one direction, while the negative correlation means the negative correlation indicates that one increases and other decreases. That means they are moving in the opposite direction. However, correlation alone doesn't imply causation, as one variable may not necessarily cause the other. So, the organizations with resources to conduct controlled experiments can potentially establish the causation, adding depth to their diagnostic analytics. Now we'll be discussing on diagnostic research regression analysis. A few intervariable relationships are apparent, while the other necessitate more in detailed analysis, such as regression analysis, which can determine the bivariable interdependency, that is single linear regression, and three or more variables, that is multiple linear regression or multiple regression. A mathematical equation expresses the relationship which relates to the slope of the line that best fit for the variables relations. So now we'll be discussing on talent sourcing. What does it mean? The workflows planning or human resource planning is the process of analyzing, forecasting, and planning the workforce supply and demand. It is also known as strategic workplace planning. It entails the reviewing current staffs, examining current and future personal requirements or needs, and identifying the supply and demand gaps. The operational workforce planning focuses on individual planning to streamline daily employee operations, helping managers to create work schedules and employees understand their responsibilities to maintain their productivity. By integrating talent management, it ensures equitable talent distributions, which which identifies the staffing gaps and highlights the roles of processes that may not longer contribute to the organizational success. Now we'll be discussing on importance of workforce planning. Workforce planning is essential for achieving an organization's long-term objectives and overall success. It helps to evaluate the current workforce to determine if employee possesses the necessary skills to meet the business needs. This process identifies the potential skill gaps. It enables more effective and focused on hiring strategies. By understanding workforce limitations, organizations can address challenges that might hinder the implementation of their business strategies. A clear grasp of employee capabilities also enhances the hiring efficiency. It allows the managers to concentrate on areas needing attention. So, this is all about the importance of workplace planning. Now, we'll be discuss on Markov chain, which is also one of the important factor. Till now, we have studied for HRIS, descriptive analysis, talent resourcing, predictive analytics, its uses, advantages, disadvantages, diagnostic analytics. Under this hypothesis testing, correlation, diagnostic research regression analysis. Then we have discussed about talent resourcing or talent sourcing. So now we'll be discussing on Markov chain. Markov chains was introduced by Andrei Markov, a stochastic model that predicts the sequence of possible outcomes where the probability of next state depends only on the current state, not the previous states, previous sequences. This characteristics known as Markov property or memorylessness that simplifies forecasting or simplifies forecasting by focusing solely on the immediate preceding state. To understand this Markov's chains better, we can begin with the schematic representation. For that also, it cannot depends upon the past data. It depends upon the current state. Only depends upon the current state. So this is the procedure diagram of Markov chain. Here, just keep in mind in the Markov chain. Then we can find out what is given here. This state, these are the two states, E state and A state. The figure represents a two-state Markov procedure diagram. That is that is E and A. The arrows in the schematic representation start in the current state and refers to the future state. The number related to the arrow symbolizes the probability of Markov chains be changing state. So from this Markov chain, we can see it starts from the current state and ends itself only, or it may ends in the next state. Similarly, it moves from E to A or E to E. Similarly, from A also, from state A, it moves to state E or it moves to state A only. So based on the numbers given here, we can see, for instance, if the marker process is in state E, the probability of changing to state A is 0.7, while the probability of remaining in the same state is 0.3. Similarly, the likelihood of the process modifying to E state is 0.4 and likelihood of the remaining in the same state is 0.6. This is all about the Markov's chain. So here what happens? Now the outcomes which are probability of the next state depends on the current state, not in the previous state, right? So now we'll be discussing on job analysis. As we have already discussed what is the job analysis, it is the important part of the human resource planning, and job analysis means analyzing the overall jobs that related to nature of the employment, we can say the responsibilities, qualifications, environment, due to what kind of works to be performed, compensation, all are related to job analysis. That we, in a single sentence, we can say analyzing the jobs that to be done by the employee is known as job analysis. So, the method for determining the roles and responsibilities and nature of the employment, in addition to the types of individual who should be recruited to accomplish their aim, is known as job analysis. Again, this job analysis is divided into two parts, that is job description and job specification, as we have already discussed. So, it contains the guidelines for creating clear job description, which are employed in recruitment and selection, remuneration, performance appraisal, and training. The process of studying, investing, and collecting the detailed information about the works component, the operation is known as job analysis. That means it is the process of investigating, studying, and collecting the detailed information about the works components and the operations is known as job analysis. So it is the collection and analysis of data tasks that related to data. Then job description. It deciding the job description. How we should decide the job description? Based on the demand of the organization, based on the mission, vision, or the job requirement, we can decide the job description. So a job description is a written document that identifies the important job requirements, obligations, finance, financial financial commitments, and skills required to carry out a specific roles. A comprehensive job description will explain how accomplishment in the role is evaluated in order to be used in the performance appraisal process. So the job description is essential part of the job analysis. If the person is able to meet the job description, or what can able to understand the skills required to do the job description, then it can be evaluated while the appraisal is being done in the organization. So rest we are having deciding the job descriptions, job redesign, job evaluation, talent acquisition, performance predictor, effectiveness of acquisition, analytics of training, why did to keep an eye on training analytics, then applications. So now we will decide the List of items used to be present in the JD are job descriptions are first one is job identification. This could consist of the job title, alternative titles, selections, plant or section, plant, facilities where the job remains, the job code number, etc. Then job summary, a concise statement of the primary purpose of the job. If the job role needs to be improved, it may also include a concise definition as the supplementary identification information, duties to be performed, what kind of works the employee should do. It is the brief summary of the employee's functions, including what is done, how it is done, why it is done, and how much time is to be devoted to each major duty. Job responsibilities are also described, such as those are managing fund, supervising other employees, training subordinates, and so on. This is the most important section for the job description and is also the most difficult to write. The extent to which supervision is given and received, how many employees and what jobs will be supervised. The nature and extent of supervision, that is, whether the general or cause supervisions will be used. Next is machines, tools, and equipments used. The trade names, types, and models of machines, tools, and equipments used, such as working as a lathe or drilling machines, are also mentioned. The raw materials to be used or other details are also be provided. Next is working conditions. The conditions under which the job holder will work, such as noise, temperature, posture, illumination, working hours, day or night, overtime, rest duration, dirt, oil location of the place of work, such as office, factory, inside, outside, underground, solitary, gang, or so on. Then relation to the other job, whether it is at the horizontal level or otherwise, the details about the flow of work and procedure. Then organizational relationship, the job's position or status within the organization, its stance in the organizational hierarchy and vertical relationship. The jobs instantaneously either above or below it in the job hierarchy, responsibilities to be done, and accountability to the degree of authority assigned, and so on. Environment of hazards like accidental risks and health hazards such as nerve strain, eye strain, physical strain, acid, weather exposure, or so on are involved. Next, pay. The mode and payment method, hourly, daily, monthly, weekly, piece rate, range of pay from minimum to maximum, bonus and so on required to do the job well. Promotions and training, required qualifications for the workers, comments, job analyst can make his or her comment or additional remarks concerning to the job. Almost all good organizations use standard printed forms for filling out the job descriptions. So these are all about the job descriptions. Now next part is job redesign. Job redesign means the job is already designed and based on the several factors, the job will be redesigned or we can add some duties or responsibilities can be increased or decreased. So, job redesign involves reorganizing the job's duties, responsibilities, and components to make it more engaging and motivating for the employees. Its primary goal is to align the right person with the right role while enhancing the employee satisfaction and fostering a sense of value within the organization. There are five important stages of job redesign are job current version revision, analysis of job related information, alteration alteration of job elements, job description reformations and specifications, reshuffling duties and responsibilities as per the new job description. So these are the different stages of job design. So, job evaluation determines the worth of the job systematically. It compares the job, providing the rationale of pay structure. There are two prominent schemes to evaluate the job. This is known as job evaluation. Evaluating the worth of the job is known as job evaluation, or we can say evaluating the worth of the job systematically is known as job evaluation. It compares the job, providing the rationale for the pay structure. There are two prominent schemes to evaluate the jobs, that is analytical and non-analytical. A typical program of job evaluation follows the following steps: to ascertain acceptance, creation of the job evaluation committee, jotting the jobs to be evaluated, preparing a job description, selective evaluation norms, job classifications. So, we can see that job evaluation, it helps in determining the worth of the job systematically. It compares both, providing the rationale of the pay structure. There are two prominent schemes to evaluate the jobs, analytical and non-analytical, and the steps are to ascertain acceptance, creation of job evaluation committee, jotting the jobs to be evaluated, preparing the job description, selecting the evaluation norms, and job classification. Now comes to the most important part, that is talent acquisition. We have only talent acquisition, performance predictor, and application of HR analytics. First one is talent acquisition. Talent acquisition refers to the method of finding and preserving high quality employees. The company's talent acquisition unit is typically composed of a group of human resource department and talent acquisition expert who are in charge of new hires as well as growing employee satisfaction, or the percentage during which employees must follow with the company throughout their careers. So, talent acquisition refers to the method of finding and preserving the high quality employees. So, what are the key factors of determining the higher quality to higher the quality? So, first of all, we have to find out efficacy of hiring process, then tracking the sourcing and recruiting process, measuring assessment accuracy, detect the mismatch whether good people are hired for the wrong job, measurement of pre-hire quality, measurement of post-hire quality, comparison of the pre and post results. These are the hiring quality. Then what are the factors? The factors mentioned above, when selected and executed efficiently, it results in reduced time taken by an employee to become productive, increased sales and revenue, better review results reported by the performance manager, and engaged employees, cultural fit, and low rate of turnover. So this is the factors Based on the above factors, this is very much essential that a person is being selected by the employee. Now, performance predictor. First one is cognitive ability, mental ability of an individual to perform the range of mental process, conscientiousness, a tendency to do things up to the fullest potential irrespective of time, growth mindset, a tendency to develop oneself by embracing feedback, active learning, skills to apply the learning to real life situation, creative problem solving, ability to solve the complex problems with out of box thinking, and past performance track record. It ensures the comparability of knowledge translation. So these are the important performance predictor through which the performance can be evaluated. One is cognitive ability, conscientiousness, growth mindset, active learning, creative problem solving, past performance track record. Now I'll be discussing on effectiveness of acquisition. First is cash flow forecasting, determining the level of discount rate to assess the projected cash flow, valuation of the acquired company, then data analytics, data analysis, analytics of the employee training and development. It identifies the organizational weakness by closely analyzing the workforce dynamics. Matrices helps to quantify the results and highlight the requirements objectively. Employee performance improves through timely training and development, which helps in boosting the productivity and the morale. Employees also become more aware of safety practices, enhancing efficiency. The company's reputation and brand value grow, attracting fresh talent. It helps in improving its competitive advantage. Training opportunities further enhances organization's profile. The innovations naturally emerges as the result of training and development initiatives. Now, we need to keep an eye on training analytics. When developing and implementing training, it's important to evaluate both the design and the outcomes such as scalability, relevance, and platform choice. Once training is complete, determining the success is crucial, even if it may seem subjective. Training boosts employee satisfaction, retention, productivity, but its effectiveness varies depending on the program's quality. Regularly tracking training progress helps to identify the gaps in engagement or the performance. It allows for timely content updates and better resource allocation. Using learning analytics, organization can link the training to the result. It helps in improving ROI, return on investment, and ensures the development effort to achieve their intended goals. Now we'll be discussing on applications of HR analytics. First is competency acquisition analytics, recruitment channel analytics, classification analysis, attrition analysis, capacity analysis. First is competency acquisition analytics. Hiring the right talent is crucial for the company's success, and competency acquisition analytics helps to assess whether the organization is acquiring the right skill or not. By identifying core competencies, mapping them against the current talent, and addressing the gaps through training or new hires, businesses can ensure their workforce align with their goals. Recruitment channel analytics. This analysis includes gaining insights by drilling down into historical employee data, surveys, and feedback records, as well as evaluating key performance indicators, KPIs, such as return on investment and human capital value added. Next is capital analysis. The process of analyzing historical data to identify the patterns that help us predict which category of a particular observation or data entity belongs to is known as classification analysis. So, in human resources, this analytical method can be used to examine the composition of a team as well as other context variable to determine how successful the team will be. The classification analysis is one of the important factor or application is that it is the process of analyzing the historical data to identify the patterns that help us predict which category of a particular observation or data entity belongs to. Is known as classical analytics. Now comes to the operation analysis. Operation analysis tells high attrition poses a costly challenges for the HR team, especially the customer facing businesses where familiarity matters. Using advanced analytics and natural language processing to analyze employee reviews on platforms like Glassdoor and indeed it helps to measure the satisfaction and identify the factors driving attrition, ensure enabling better retention strategy. Capacity analysis, one of the most significant business benefits of advanced analytics in HR is cost reduction. HR department can use capacity analytics too. What the team's capacity is and how much of it is being used. What activities the team engages in while working. What processes, tools, and applications are used to complete the work. And how much do they cost the company. The team's operational efficiency helps in determining whether to overworked or underutilized. It helps in ability to grow and prosper. So we have discussed all about this unit. Now the summary of this overall unit is that with data backed evidence, organizations can concentrate on making the necessary improvements and planning the future initiatives. With the ability to answer critical organizational questions without guesswork, it's no surprise that many businesses that use HR analytics contribute performance improvement to HR initiatives. This data analytics method takes routinely collected HR data and correlates it to HR and organizational objectives. This provides quantifiable evidence of how HR initiatives contribute to the organizational goals and its strategies. These are all about this unit. Thank you.